If there's one thing I want to tell you about Senator DeMint, it's this.
Well, DeMint started the recession. DeMint is responsible for the recession, and
there's one thing we know.
DeMint started the recession. He's responsible for the recession.
That's what it is. Well, thanks God, because the man who started the recession is leaving the Senate. That, of course, was his former competitor in 2010, who, of course, got walloped by him in South Carolina. He went on Lawrence O'Donnell's program and kept saying Jim DeMint started the recession, which is one of our favorite interviews of all time. So now, wait a minute, that's kind of weird. Jim DeMint is in his second term, so it's not like he's been around the Senate forever. Yeah, he was in Congress earlier on the House, but he won re-election in 2010. He still's got 4 years on his term, but he's now leaving to go run the Heritage Foundation, which is a conservative think tank. I wonder why he's doing that. Well, it turns out that Jim DeMint, out of 100 senators, in wealth is ranked 98th. So one of the poorest senators there are. In fact, his estimated net worth is $16,000 to $65,000 for a senator. That is unbelievably low. So now Jim DeMint thinks, time to make some DeMint. Gee, I wonder if he's going to get paid a lot by the Heritage Foundation. Of course, the second reason is that the Tea Party has lost power, and he was basically the leader of the Tea Party in the Senate. If he thought that they were ascendant, and this would be his time, he would be the kingmaker, and he would get to decide what's going on. But they got their ass kicked in the last election in the Senate. Not only did the Republicans lose seats, but they lost seats because of the Tea Party candidates that they ran. So Jim DeMint thinks, who I want, stay, who I want, run. And he runs. But I love this because he put out a statement where he says, quote, "My constituents know that being a senator was never going to be my career. I came to Congress as a citizen legislator, and I've always been determined to leave it as a citizen legislator." Oh, come on, Jim. Who you kidding, dog? Who you kidding? Are you going to go back to being, a farmer like, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson? Go back to your farm or whatever you were? You're going to go back to being a dentist? No. You're going to stay in Washington and make serious bank off the rich people you've already been serving. Who's the Heritage Foundation funded by? Well, they're very secretive about that, but we do have some information on it. For example, one of their largest donors is the Koch brothers. Of course! By the way, you know that the Heritage Foundation also is funded partly by the South Korean government? What happened, Jim DeMint? I thought you were all about America. Why does South Korea care about right-wing policies here? Because the Heritage Foundation pushes for free trade agreements that don't necessarily help us, but that definitely help South Korea. What a wonderful coincidence. And you know what? Along with that coincidence, Senator DeMint also is in favor of those free trade agreements, which he will now be handsomely rewarded for. Funny how Washington works. By the way, the Heritage Foundation also spreads the wealth around. You know, all these guys who boast about, conservatives, they know how to appeal to Americans. That's why Fox News does so well. That's why conservative talk radio does so well. And we don't need any handouts like those libs. Heritage Foundation gives a $2 million handout to Rush Limbaugh and $1.3 million to Sean Hannity for their radio programs. In other words, here are the rich that funnel the money to the Heritage Foundation. And what do they buy with that money? They buy policy papers that Republicans use as an excuse, like, oh, look at this brilliant policy paper from the Heritage Foundation. That tells me that I should definitely do that free trade deal. And then they also buy senators like Jim DeMint, and they do it through these backdoor bribes that as soon as you leave office, will give you a ton of money. And then they also bribe the talk show hosts so that they go on there and say all these things about, yes, cut taxes on the rich, cut taxes on corporations, give oil companies subsidies, etc. They're not coincidences. These are very smart bribes to all the right people to do that. And Jim DeMint, of course, pretends to be a populist Tea Party guy, but in effect, he had been auditioning for this very lucrative Heritage Foundation job all along. Now, it could have been at another think tank, it could have been as a lobbyist, but the exit strategy that Jim DeMint had was, at some point, I'm going to cash in big time. And that's exactly what he did here. He didn't care about serving you. And when he was running in 2010, what he was thinking about is, man, this is going to equal a lot of money for me. And he needs the money because he's a failed businessman. You know, Heritage Foundation, as they explained in their press release, they were like, oh, you know, he's got a great record in the Senate and the House, and before that he was a very successful entrepreneur. Really? First of all, you get paid a lot as a member of the House and the Senate, and you were a very successful businessman earlier, and all you have saved is $16,000 to $65,000? That doesn't sound like a successful businessman to me. Okay, for you and me, 16 to 65 might be not bad, right? But for a senator, my God, all you had to do was save like a third of your salary in one of the years, and you'd have that much saved up. Without the rich folks subsidizing them, these people are useless. You know, they talk about bootstraps, etc. They live off the teat the whole time. They ain't got no bootstraps. If they had to live by their own bootstraps, they'd be a disaster. They're high-priced hookers for the rich who want the legislation passed. All right. By the way, one last thing as we leave you on Jim DeMint. Some of the famous things that he's done, real quick. He's the one that said that Obamacare was going to be President Obama's Waterloo. Oops. And then he stood with Todd Akin. He was the first one to back him up and actually send him $90,000 after Todd Akin's legitimate rape comments. He thinks that gay people should not be allowed to teach in schools. But also, to be fair, he says if you're not married and sleeping with your boyfriend, notice he didn't say girlfriend, sleeping with your boyfriend, you also should be banned from teaching. Okay, I'd love to see the people who are going to regulate on that. Are you going to have a sex panel? Are you sleeping with your boyfriend? Really? What positions? What are you doing? All right, okay, tell me more about it, and then you're banned. Okay, and I love this. He pushed a bill to outlaw discussion of abortion on the internet. Okay. Of course, he wants to strip collective bargaining rights from federal employees. Here's another one of my favorites. He blocked creation of a National Women's History Museum. Who would want to celebrate women? The two people who did that were Jim DeMint and Tom Coburn. You know what Tom Coburn said when they asked him about the museum? He said there already exist museums for quilters and cowgirls. Oh man, these guys are really bad dudes, man. Whew. That's their idea of women's history, quilters and cowgirls. And then I can go on and on. One time he threatened to shut down the entire Senate, and they said, okay, all right, what's your pet cause? What do you care so much about that you're willing to shut it down? He said, no, I just want pre-approval of all bills. Oh, well, thank you, Commander DeMint. We appreciate it, Emperor. What the fuck is that? He doesn't give a damn about anybody else. And then finally, he said, quote, I can guarantee you people with pre-existing conditions are going to get less health care, lower quality health care under Obamacare. But they actually get covered under Obamacare, and under Jim DeMint's proposal, they get no health care coverage. How is that better? It's not better. He doesn't give a shit. All he cares about is, when am I getting paid by the Heritage Foundation? Well, congratulations, Jim. Today's that day. But don't forget,
DeMint started the recession. He's responsible for the recession.